Prospect Heights is a neighborhood that is constantly changing. The north side has developed a unique new age Brooklyn trendiness, and the south side has some of the borough's most revered historic attractions. In between is a neighborhood that is also the blend of working yuppies and the peacefully retired, the newcomers and the established. But one thing has remained constant in the neighborhood: the parish family of St. Joseph's. St. Joseph has watched the neighborhood change from its location on Pacific Street for over 100 years. Prospect Heights was once predominantly Italian, Jewish, and African American. Now an even more diverse group of ethnics call it home. Just yesterday, the church was anointed a Co-Cathedral, a blessing Monsignor Harrington believes couldn't have been done without the immigrant community.
Church in Brooklyn is an immigrant church. More recently, a large influx is Mexican immigrants. They didn't have a lot of money to give to the church, but what they gave was their sweat equity. They were the ones who stripped the pews and scraped off the gum and prepared them so that they would be stained and be installed. And they're the ones who stripped the front doors and were able to restore the doors of the church. So their contribution is not just in their sweat equity, it's their lively participation in the parish.
But at the same time, Prospect Heights is also a neighborhood that is gentrifying. Paul Moses, a journalist who specializes in religion, believes this can affect parish life.
Basically, we're seeing a return of investment to these neighborhoods, and suddenly the properties become much more valuable, and it's dislocated large numbers of people, sometimes populations that are primarily Catholic, like Latinos and Poles. It's brought in new kinds of people, new congregations sometimes need to evangelize.
Monsignor Harrington agrees. He finds it harder to reach newcomers.
Why the congregation actually dwindled to about 50 people is related to the Barclay Center, right? So there was demolishment of a lot of housing in the area. So gentrification had a negative impact on the congregation initially. But New York is always reinventing itself, and Prospect Heights is like a microcosm of that. It's a little different, right? It's harder to reach people who are very affluent than it is to people who have very little.
But St. Joseph's has stood the test of time and change. It has been able to uniquely meet the needs between old and new in the neighborhood, as always.
A large number of young people who are young professionals who are continually coming to church at St. Joseph's, and they integrate very well. In other parts of the neighborhood where there is a sort of a sense of strain between the new population moving in and the population that's there, you don't really see that at St. Joseph's. So you see a lot of baby carriages of young professional people who are making their home at St. Joseph.
For Currents, I'm Michelle Powers.